Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Halftime today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Hey, hold on, it's almost halftime.
Houston to get right back on top. It's up to Jose Siri, the rookie. At 46 big league at-bats with Houston this season. Hit 4 home runs, drove home 9. Jammed. It'll score a run. And a safe all around. 2-1 Houston here in the second. They have a double and a run scored from Jose Altuve, who's about to lead it off against the lefty Drew Smyly. And that's into left. Altuve's got another.
That was my turn-it-off moment last night. I don't know about you, but I was kind of waiting to see if we'd see a former Razorback in the World Series game last night. And once Drew Smyly threw that first pitch, and it is still going, hit by Jose Altuve for his 22nd career postseason home run, I pretty much turned that thing off at that point and said, well, turn this thing off, go to bed, and now you got yourself a series. 1 game apiece heading into the off day, and how about that? Houston answers, get the sort of starting performance that they really needed from Jose Urquidy. Bullpen able to hold it down and beat Max Fried, and even this series up at 1 game apiece. So there you go. Got a World Series. Not going to have a sweep. I don't think anybody expected one. Braves fans, though, have to feel pretty happy that they at least pick up 1 victory in 2 games in a tough place to win. Now head back to Atlanta where they'll have the next 3 games. I didn't realize that they hadn't had a postseason game with the roof open in Houston since 2003. I think that was the first year of that stadium. And it changes the atmosphere. It changes maybe the way the ball travels a little bit. Does not change the fact that they got that extremely short porch in left field, and the Crawford box is perfect for a guy like Altuve, though I think that ball that he hit off Smyly would have been out of any park in the country. And Braves kind of kicking the ball around in a way that nobody expects them to do. A team that's known for having good fielding, good defense, and a couple of errors. Leave third base uncovered yesterday. And, not their best outing, but that's why you get a best of 7. So how's everybody doing today?
Oh, doing well.
Feeling good? Yeah,
100%. Ready to roll.
Outstanding. So
I made it through to about the 6th inning, and then it hit my bedtime, and I was done. It started to get boring anyways at that point. I just felt like it was the Astros night, and I didn't think Atlanta was going to be able to come back, and when I woke up this morning, I was right.
Yeah, well, you've had a direction of the way the game goes the first couple of innings, both of these games. You know, Atlanta's up 5-0 game 1 after 3 innings, and Houston's up 5-1 at the end of 3. It's not like you're in cruise control at that point, but you never really fend. I mean, Houston had a couple of chances in the mid to latter innings, game 1. Atlanta didn't necessarily have those same opportunities against the Houston bullpen. So there you go. So it's even, no game today. And we can focus a little bit on Arkansas basketball, a little stuff on Hogs football. Gus Arginal joins us bottom of this hour. He is in his first year as the one of the 2 assistants or top assistants for head coach Eric Musselman. Of course, he knows Coach Muss very well through time spent together at Nevada. Arginal has also been a Division II head coach, and most recently the associate head coach at Cal State Fullerton. We're going to have, I assume this, Drew, like if you come to coach for anywhere that Eric Musselman is the head coach, you're going to need to be in pretty good shape. Like, I don't know. If I look at the coaches that I've seen,
you can't be in out of shape doing the white vest and the holding bricks yesterday.
There's no way. If you are out of shape, then you're pretty much showing up expecting to get into perfect shape. And Coach Arginal was one of the two coaches, along with Muss, that was in that Twitter photo a couple of days ago that kind of advertised, we weren't happy with the way this team is conditioned, and we're going to do something about that pretty quickly. I think Gus Argenal looks like he was already in very good shape before he stepped onto campus, and we'll talk with him about that. Want to talk about who you think Arkansas's leading scorer will be. Found some interesting discrepancies between the transfers that came in the year before, year 2 under Muss, and the ones that are joining this year in terms of kind of how they fit in offensively with their previous teams and how that can translate to what you'll see this year with Arkansas men's basketball. Of course, you got a 4 o'clock exhibition on Saturday that will be airing on our stations here. I'll be doing that game with Zim. No pregame, no postgame, no interviews.
Just straight to it.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting broadcast, Drew, because we'll just
from the tip. I mean, not even a 3-second or 3 minute.
As I think tip-off will be like 2 minutes after 4. So we go on the air at 4 o'clock, basically have like 90 seconds to say something, and then the ball's in the air and it's tipped. So we'll see how that goes. Just to hear basketball, Razorback basketball on the radio might feel good for a lot of people.
Yeah, it'll be nice. I know a lot of people were upset that last week's exhibition game, I think I said it right that time, was...
What were you saying before?
I said expedition.
Not exposition game, an expedition game?
Yes, I said it with a P. So, dang it. Say it for me one more time.
I just screwed it up for you again.
Yeah, you did.
Exhibition game.
Exhibition game. There we go. Exhibition game. Wasn't on TV, wasn't on radio. At least this way, people will be able to hear it instead of just happening to be in Bud Walton Arena to see it live. So at least you'll get somewhat of a feel of college basketball season beginning and starting and getting going.
Yeah, that's the other term you would use for maybe something like that would be preseason, but I don't think you use that in college basketball.
No, there isn't really a preseason. I mean, even though every team plays, 1 or 2 exhibition games.
Right. NFL football does not play exhibition games.
No, they play preseason
Although I think
games.
Maybe you look at the Hall of Fame game as an exhibition game, but it's the NFL preseason. It's baseball does preseason, does exhibition,
spring training games.
But you call it spring training games, right? So. Exhibition, not necessarily the sort of terminology that I guess you're used to throwing around.
No, not really.
But it will be a tough one because North Texas is a pretty good. I'm still trying to scratch my head like what league they're in now because they're Conference USA.
Right now they're still Conference USA, yes.
But they're about to join the American Athletic Conference, and Conference USA is down to like almost the original 13 colonies now. I mean, they're down to, 5 schools after the exodus to the Sun Belt?
Down to 6 because Old Dominion and Southern Miss this week announced that they're going to the Sun Belt. So you're down to 6 teams. You're down to Marshall, Middle Tennessee State, Florida International, Western Kentucky, Louisiana Tech, and then University of Texas, El Paso. So from 14 to 6 in a matter of 2 weeks. Now, this is going to be in the future. You don't have to automatically worry about where you're going to be playing, what conference you're going to be playing collegiate sports in, next year. But for those 6 teams, you've got to be getting real worried because realistically, there's only 2 other conferences in the group of 5 that can take on more teams, and that's Maction and Mountain West. They both sit there with 12 total teams. And if they get to the 14, because it's not going to be it can't be divided even. It's not like 3 can go there and 3 can go here because that puts you at 15. Nobody wants to be at an odd number. So either one conference takes 4, one conference takes 2, or somebody's getting left out. If the Mountain West and MAC decide to cap out at 14 apiece.
It's so difficult to keep track of, and I think people already have had difficulty keeping track of which of the group of 5 leagues was constructed in which way. But remember, the thoughts 3 months ago were there's going to be an incredible amount of realignment in big-time college sports, like the Power 5.
It trickles down.
And that hasn't happened yet. There's only been you've had some schools join out of the American to the Big 12. There's been the exodus of Oklahoma and Texas to the Big 12, but out of the schools that already were Power 5, those are the only two that have moved around.
Well, I didn't really think anybody else would. Why would you?
If the Big 12 would have broken up.
Yes, if the Big 12 would have broken up.
The whole thought as, the Big 10's going to add some schools. There's going to be more joining the SEC. There's going to be somebody else going into the Big 12, to the Pac-12. None of that has happened. Power 5 sports has stabilized for the moment, and probably will change at least a little bit somehow. But it's been the mid-major, the group of five. Now you just absolutely have no way to keep track of, and it's like fun trying to figure out what league your upcoming opponent in the expedition game, the exposition game, the ball next on halftime.
Never
and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football. Head to your website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of these amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. You'll find 10 bedrooms with 19 beds for up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, poker table, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, a fire pit, 2 gas grills, outdoor basketball court, a heated indoor swimming pool nearby, and a 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City. Not to mention near some of the best golf courses. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO. We're back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football. Head to your website or use your mobile devices.
Hot Spring Spa models to choose from, so pick your size, style, and color right now. It's the Hot Spring Spas factory pre-order sale, now through November 1st at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and online at burtonpools.com.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Daddy worked like a mule mining Pike County coal.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Such is the world of big-time college basketball. 3 of Arkansas's leading 4 scorers from last year are no longer with the team, and all 3 of those players played exactly 1 season for the Razorbacks. Moses Moody, a one-and-done. Justin Smith and Jalen Tate, graduate transfers. J.D. Notte is the only one who's back. Mm-hmm. And it's not like you bring in other transfers. It's not like they're necessarily like replacing Moses, replacing Justin. These are guys that have their own sets of talents, different reasons why they're brought here, and they're different players than those guys. And I want to focus in on the 3 1,000-point career scorers that are on this Razorback team right now. 2 of them are in their first year with Arkansas, those being Chris Likes and Stanley Umude. The other is J.D. Note. Umude has scored over 1,500, Note over 1,300, Likes 1,256 career points. And all three of these guys have been the top offensive option on just about every team that they've played. Even J.D. Note, like he led Jacksonville in scoring before he joined Arkansas. And even though he was Arkansas's third leading scorer last year, he led the team in points per minute. He took the most shots per minute. He normally was the top option scoring when he was on the court. Stanley Umude led South Dakota in scoring last year. He's 11th all-time at that school. Chris Likes led Miami in scoring 2 years in a row before the ankle injury kept him to just 2 games last year. And, just digging into the stats here on these guys, they all take a lot of shots. A lot. Like
yeah, they do.
Chris Likes averages a shot every 2.4 minutes that he played his last full season. Umude takes one shot for every 1.6 minutes, 1.96 minutes. That's about a shot every 2 minutes that Umude is on the court. That's the same as J.D. Note. Note led the team with one shot every 2 minutes last year. And you're bringing in 2 other players in Likes and Umude that took more shots per minute than Moses Moody and Justin Smith did. So, I mean, I'm not saying that these guys are all going to be gunning and they're all just going to be looking for their own shots.
They're not just all, as soon as the ball touches their hands, just going to let it fly.
There are moments with JD you kind of have that feeling. And when I'm looking at the numbers here on Umude, one shot every 1.96 minutes, maybe that was the case a little bit at South Dakota, but that will change at Arkansas with a, better basketball teammates, more, depending on the offense. And I would doubt that Umude is playing, like the 34 minutes per game, the 32.3 minutes per game that he was on the court for South Dakota last year. And the guys that they replaced, Moody, he wasn't even the top option on his high school team the last year in high school because, well, it's Montverde Academy.
Yeah.
All 5 of those guys were big time, including Cade Cunningham. Justin Smith was never a top option at Indiana, and Jalen Tate was more of a distributor and a defender and was a scorer, but those 2 other things came first. And it does feel like with Umude, with Likes, it's scoring first. I know Umude's a pretty good rebounder, Likes, a guy that can steal the ball a little bit. They're scorers first. This is where some of the mindset of these players might have to change a little bit coming into a team that you still have to figure out how this team meshes, and that's what it's all about for like the next month and a half. Figure out the roles, figure out how they mesh, and I'd be really surprised if Umude is taking one shot for every 1.96 minutes, and even if Likes is taking a shot for every 2.5 minutes.
Well, that's the thing. In basketball and in pretty much every sport, there's only one ball, right? So how do you get these high-volume shooters to mesh? How do you get them to maybe be more concerned about their assist numbers than points. And I think that just really comes together of your culture that you have around a team, right? If you have the right type of culture, if you have the right mentality as a coaching staff and as a team in general, then then distributing the ball and worrying about there's only so many minutes, there's only so many shots in a game to go around, well, that's not going to be a concern if everybody's bought in. It's when people aren't bought in. It's when people are out kind of just, I'm going to get mine. I'm going to show what I've got. I'm going to do what's best for me to get to the next level. And you think with a coaching staff like Eric Musselman has put together and has here at the University of Arkansas, that's not going to be a problem. And ultimately, even if, you're J.D. Note is at that one shot every 2 minutes, right? That's still, let's say he plays 36 minutes a game. That's a pretty good load there, 36 minutes. That's 18 shots. Yeah, that's a lot. But it's not like he's going to be putting it up 30 times a game, really. 18 shots, that's on the higher end, but it's not overkill,
Yeah, and part of it also is the role he plays. He was the guy coming off the bench last year, came off the bench first in 16 games for Arkansas last year. I just would be so surprised if he's coming off the bench. That was a great role for him last year, to inject some energy.
Be that energy guy, yeah.
5-6 minutes in, he's going to have to be able to inject that energy immediately, because I expect he'll be on the court to start the season against Mercer and maybe to start every game this year, and if Likes is your top option at point guard too, I forget who the caller was last week that said, you really can't have Note and Likes on the court at the same time. Sure you can, and you're going to.
You can have somebody play off the ball.
Yeah, you're going to. Both of them can be really good defenders for to steal. I'm interested to see how Likes defends at that size, against bigger guards. You're gonna have to find a way to get him a little help. I don't know, but offensively, it still feels to me like Note is your top option. Likes is going to have to be the guy that distributes it, kind of the way Jalen Tate did last year, and maybe take a step back a little bit as far as, how often he's looking to score.
Yeah, you need that good distributor guy, but you also don't want to take it too far to the other extreme where they're afraid to shoot or they constantly pass up open shots. You want a good mixture of distribute, take my shot when I got it.
Well, that's something to get into with Gus Arginal in the next segment because we are going to get with the one of the top assistants for Eric Musselman at Arkansas men's basketball. Of course, you got the exhibition on Saturday. Lots of, I'm sure, tough practices this week with the weighted vests and the bricks, and now preparing for a Division I opponent, the first that Arkansas plays this year. They will keep score, but the game will not count. Don't tell that to these guys, right? Yeah. We're right back.
Halftime is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center. 4 generations making your family dreams come true.
Honey, wake up.
Shh, you're going to wake the baby.
But it's Monday.
So?
It's a Powerball draw day.
I thought those were only on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Not anymore. They're on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and now Mondays.
Wait, for real?
Yes.
Rise and shine, baby. Let's go get a Powerball ticket.
Get psyched! Powerball drawings are now 3 days a week, so get your ticket today. This is winning. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. You'll find 10 bedrooms with 19 beds for up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, poker table, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, a fire pit, 2 gas grills, outdoor basketball court, a heated indoor swimming pool nearby, and a 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City. Not to mention near some of the best golf courses. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO.
You've had the hand-breaded chicken sandwich at Hardee's, but have you tried it with crispy bacon, melty Swiss, and their new hot honey sauce? It's the ultimate flavor of sweet and heat. Get it while you can, because this honey has some bite. Taste the sweet heat for yourself with the new hot honey hand-breaded chicken sandwich at Hardee's. Go get it now.
Feed your happy. Available for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price and participation may vary.
Wherever work takes you, we've got you. The BF Goodrich Trademan Support Program. Get a $70 rewards card after online submission with the purchase of 4 new BF Goodrich passenger or light truck tires. You also get a $60 satisfaction guarantee and 24-hour worksite or roadside assistance. Southern Tire Mart just off of I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith. BF Goodrich Tires and best-in-class service. See bfgoodrichtires.com/tradesman for complete details. Offer expires 12/31/2021. Void where prohibited.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is the only place to watch the Hogs. Watch every game at Joe's. Enjoy half-price apps and taps during the game. And with TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat. Half-price appetizers like brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, 10-layer dip, or Joe's humongous sampler platter. All half price. And all beers on tap are half price. Watch every Hog game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
Hi folks, Scary Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources. Great used cars are so hard to find it's terrifying. Most dealers' lots look like a ghost town. Not ours. We're loaded up with premium pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs you've been looking for, and they're all Rath Road ready. Hand-picked and reconditioned in our own Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, our live market value pricing takes all the terror out of getting a great deal, with savings as much as $4,000 below retail. Are you haunted by past credit problems? Our For the People credit approval process is ghoulishly good at getting you approved. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes, buy 3, get 1 free on all tires, and a free winter-ready inspection. Better yet, let your old ride rust in peace. Trade it in and start driving better today. It's all treats and no tricks till the stroke of midnight on Halloween at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. The Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, Hog Reaction, Coffee with Counsel, Huddle Up, and Fantasy Football Sunday. All available on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just type Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Our podcasts are on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, HitThatLine.com, Anchor, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Google Play. Brought to you by Breeden RV Center.
Getting out on the ponds and creeks, getting out fishing anytime soon. Don't forget your Rebel Crick Hopper. Nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel Crick Hopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The Crick Hopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line, and you'll find the Rebel Crick Hopper available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, Learnet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. It is the Rebel Crick Hopper. All right, we are awaiting assistant coach Gus Arginal of the Arkansas men's basketball team here on halftime as the Hogs coming off of a razor-thin victory in an exhibition against East Central University.
Still got the win. That's all that matters.
Texas. Yes. Although, again, remember Eric Musselman,
not happy.
He didn't really feel like there was much of a difference between a win and a loss. I think the way that is just judging by his countenance during the postgame presser. Muss wears his he wears that final score on his face. You can see it just based upon the outcome of the game and certainly the effort that you think, and you're not going to get too much coach speak from Eric Musselman. I'll let you know what he's thinking. It's one of the things about the Arkansas coaches for the most part. They will tell you exactly what they're thinking. Dave Van Horn does the same. I feel like Sam Pittman does the same to a point. There is you feel there's a difference, Drew, between coach speak in basketball and coach speak in football? I feel like the football coach speak is like singular and separate from any of the others.
Football, when it comes to football coach speak, there's a lot of I didn't do enough to get my team prepared. I put us in a bad situation. When it comes to basketball, I feel like there's much more of a we, type of mentality when it comes to coach speaks. The we didn't play hard enough. The we didn't do a good enough job guarding. We didn't do a good enough job running the offensive side of the ball. So where, you've heard Sam Pittman do it 3 out of the last 4 weeks. I didn't do a good enough job preparing. Well, as you'll hear college basketball coaches coming up soon, we didn't do a good enough job shooting. We didn't do a good enough job guarding, which basically is saying, without saying, they didn't do a good enough job guarding, because we know that Eric Musselman's not guarding anybody. He's over there on the bench. But you have that we type of speech into it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Saw the photos of the weighted vest and bricks practice from the other day. What's the toughest practice you ever had to go through as a student athlete in high school, Drew?
Ooh.
Now, I didn't play football. I know football practices sometimes feel like they're separate from the others. Did play basketball, and, depending on how badly we got beaten, because we got beaten every game pretty much, the running suicides was never fun. And there could be a series of suicides to run for us on that court. But I'd say baseball practices, Never quite felt torturous for me.
No, they didn't. Baseball never was torturous, even, the amount of polls that we might have had to run. Let me think about it. We got Coach here on the hold, so I'll go ahead and I'll think about it, and I'll give you my answer on later in the show.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like Coach Arginal has joined us here on halftime. Oh, no, he hasn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I saw somebody there on the phone.
Somebody
then
else
I'll give it now. The worst one had to have been freshman year of high school football during two-a-days, back when that was still a thing. And was 1 week we went down to Sardis, Mississippi.
KJ Jefferson's hometown.
Yes. And KJ will tell you that there is a really, really big dam in Sardis, Mississippi.
I've heard about the
Sardis
Sardis
dam. And they have beaches right there around the dam, for the lake. And we would run drills in the sand and then run up and down the dam. It had to have been at least, I'm probably exaggerating, but it felt like 20, 30 times. And it was bad. It was extremely hot, middle of July, one of the last weeks of two-a-days, and that was probably one of the others. Just the heat of two-a-days, being in full pads in the middle of July where heat index is climbing to 108, 109, and those were tough.
Yeah, so it looks like we've got somebody on hold here, but it is Charlie who is on hold instead. Charlie's calling us a little bit earlier, and I guess you could play the part of Gus Arginal if you would like to, Charlie. So would you like to play the part of assistant coach for Arkansas men's basketball? That I would say that doesn't mean you get the paycheck that goes along with it, but for right now you can play that part since it's close to Halloween.
Man, so y'all got Archibald coming on here? Hey, listen, I'm calling in a little early. I had to switch it up on you guys. You guys are getting used to my
had to keep us on our toes, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to change some things up. Hey, Drew, you're complaining about, your two-a-days days, man. Let me tell you who I played for in high school. He's the Bryant head coach right now. He is the best coach that I ever played for in my life, Buck James. He was absolutely all about discipline, and I think, heck, I mean, I'm sure he's, improvised that there. That's why they're so good, but I'm not surprised that they're having so much success because I played for the man. He was a special human being. Not only made me a better person, but he was an unbelievable football coach. Anyways, I just wanted to, talk about this basketball team a little bit before Coach comes on. One of the questions I want you guys to ask him, and don't say I said this. I hope he's not listening. I wanted to know, as far as our depth goes, we got a lot of depth on this team. And, much of his history, he usually only plays about 7 or 8 guys. So, and that usually is his MO. So I wanted to know, is he actually willing this year to expand that and with the depth that we do have and, go deeper into the bench, or towards the end of the year, we're just going to see 7 or 8 guys. And, I guess it'll just depend, but anyway, that's one of the questions I want you guys to ask them. And I appreciate what you guys do, man. Love the show. I'll hang up the list.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth on this team. It seems like that. They've recruited to that idea. And, I mean, the other aspect, too, is, you hit on most of your transfers last year, right? Vance Jackson was the one that didn't hit. You're expecting you're going to hit on your transfers again, that Audice Toney is going to do what you expect from, an athletic guard who can play, who can play inside, who can rebound for you, who can, do all the things that he did at Pitt. And you're expecting, Chris Likes to grow as a point guard, grow as a defender. I just look back on the last 2 years that he was a full season player at Miami. They were not a very good defensive team. So I'm not, I didn't watch enough of those games to be able to, find an opinion about him as a defender or not. But judging by the statistics, and he was the starting point guard, Miami was one of the worst defensive teams in the ACC. So, I mean, take that for what it's worth. And you also need, we saw so much growth from Devo Davis, especially in the second half of the season and especially in the NCAA tournament. There's still got to be that upward trajectory from him Jalen Williams, too. You know, I mean, you're going to expect to get more than 15 and a half minutes per game from Jalen Williams, and that he continues to grow as a player. I mean, all these things kind of lead into the idea that there's all this depth, right? So what's the rotation looking at right now? How many players you're talking about depth. What's the rotation exactly going to look like as far as number of players rotating in and out here?
Yeah, because later on into the season, you know, when you get to the nitty-gritty, the meat of your SEC schedule, when we get to late January and February, you don't want to be that team that's still trying to find the right mix, right? You don't want to be that team that's still trying to find the right rotation, still trying to find the right minutes for guys. You want to have your rotation set. Now, for a lot of teams, that's getting it down to 7 and 8. But if you, and it goes back to the whole buy-in thing that I talked about last segment. If you have the buy-in, you can run, you know, a 9, 10, even 11-man rotation as long as each player is giving you good minutes and, you know, on that positive side of the plus-minus.
You're pretty much looking at a 10 to 11-player rotation. Once Trey Wade and Kamani Johnson are back healthy with this team and playing, and you know, you may see Wade on Saturday. I don't think you'll see Kamani Johnson on Saturday in the exhibition against North Texas. All right, 877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime. I guess that was the time we'd set aside for Gus Arginal, but there are other things happening anyway, so we'll move on.
That's live radio for you.
Yeah, that is exactly correct. Live radio for you. It's downhill toboggan ride with no brakes.
Just got to hold on tight.
Sometimes there are trees as obstacles on the way down that you didn't even see coming. Halftime will wrap up the first hour next.
TGI Fridays is the best place in Fort Smith for food, fun, and football. Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith has your favorite beers on tap. And Thursday through Sunday for bar football, all drafts are just $2. Fridays is the best place to watch football with plenty of TVs so you won't miss a second of the action while enjoying famous Fridays appetizers like the loaded potato skins or Friday's signature whiskey glazed sliders. It's food, fun, and football with $2 drafts Thursday through Sunday at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Do you own apartment complexes, condos, and rental property? Then you have made a great investment. Now make another great decision by calling Trinity Multifamily to help you maximize your return. Trinity Multifamily offers full-service property management, marketing, leasing, sales, and all the services to make your cash flow. Take the hassles and frustrations out of ownership and call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Where can you get an SEC breakfast burrito? SEC! Or a Jack or Hammer sandwich? Or a Moo Pig burger? Moo Pig Suey! You can get all this and more at Black Dog Meat Company in Booneville. Black Dog Meat Company is a fantastic family-owned restaurant serving some of the best breakfast burritos, sandwiches, burgers, beef jerky, and farm-raised Iowa Black Angus beef steaks in the River Valley. Find Black Dog Meat Company's menu, daily specials, and more on Facebook. No black labs were harmed in the making of this food.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Make Awake Bait and Tackle on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma has everything a fisherman needs. Rods, reels, tackle, plastics, all kinds of great baits to catch a wall hanger. Rods starting at $69.95. The biggest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reaction Innovation, Bobby Garland, Lake Forgoogan, and more. And Make Awake has Daiwa rods and reels, and they repair them too. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hey, grounds guys.
Hey, what?
Y'all did such a great job on cleaning all the leaves from my yard, but I noticed y'all were pressure washing my neighbor's driveway. Y'all do that too?
Absolutely. Amy, the Grounds Guys is a full-service lawn and landscape company. We do leaf removal, gutter cleaning, power washing, and many other outdoor projects. At the Grounds Guys, we want your full lawn and landscape looking its best all year long. Call the Grounds Guys at 479-303-GUYS. That's 303-4897. And say,
Hey, grounds guys.
and get $25 off any fall or winter service. The Grounds Guys.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
This is ESPN 95.3. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
All right, wrapping up the first hour here on halftime. 877-377-6963 for your calls and texts. Got Jeremy and Centerton on hold here. So let's go to Jeremy. Jeremy, what's up?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Jeremy.
Is this still morning? I think it's still morning.
Yeah,
it's
got
before
about
noon.
a little less than 15 minutes of morning left. Sure.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I didn't grow up in Arkansas. I'm from East Alabama. East Central Alabama, a place called Anniston, a little known town. They're right close to the Georgia line and stuff. And you're sharing stories about, hell practices.
Mhm.
Let me tell you. You don't mess around. Like, okay, so as a team, football, I wasn't a great player. Trust me. I just, you're just there to be there, right? Just do something, right?
Mhm.
But as a team, when you decide as a team, regardless, without the administration, without the coach's support, you decide as a team, hey, screw this. We're giving up, right? You don't give up. I'm telling you, right? You don't ever cumulatively. And so they took us to a place called the Garden of Eden. Like, that's literally what it was called. And this is the red mud of Alabama. Put on our warm-up sweats, and our sweats were not the same color after we were done with that practice. Because as a team, you do not give up. Like, it doesn't matter how badly you're getting beaten, how much you're outclassed. I got it. Yeah, you don't want to injure yourself or nothing like that, but you don't just lay over, right? And so they took us back and cleansed us of our iniquity, I guess you could say, to not collectively give up. Not one guy, and I'm talking about the entire. It was a massive thing, and so it was hours spent. It was like if you could imagine some scene of Army basic training, where you're low crawling and you're rolling left and rolling right and doing drills, and they waited for a rainy day. Let me tell you,
Well, of course,
it was not pleasant. So,
Sounds like quite the baptism by fire you're going through there, man. It
was absurd. It was absurd. So we definitely, and then the aftermath, when you're going back into the building, you're leaving a mess with red mud clumps everywhere. Guess what? You got to clean up too. You got to clean up after yourself. You're tired. I'm telling you, it was a level of exhaustion that should not be experienced by a human being on earth, but it existed on that day.
Did you puke? Come on, that's the best way to describe like a practice. Somebody can tell you how many times it made him puke. You had to have puked at least once.
Oh, it was insane. And what was really strange about it was the coaching staff participated as a team because they couldn't haze us without, they had to participate, and so they would. So you would have one member of the staff doing the exercises with you, getting muddy, but then they would just high five out like a heavyweight match to the next guy. So they would do 10 minutes, and they would go to the next guy while we were suffering for hours. And so it was they participated because they had to, but it was only for a few minutes, a percentage. Not you can be measured. When you talk about a whole 24 staff members or whatever it was, I don't know, 16, 18, 20 staff members. Of coaches and whatever it was. It's insane. So it was just, 110%. We did not give up ever again. it was not an option.
Time spent with student athletes on a high school level, on a collegiate level, was much more. They keep you to a certain period of time, much more so than ever before, right? So it's whatever you do in those 2 hours of practice that's going to make them pay. And yeah, so I mean, you can't just do the 2 days. You can't have the 4-hour practice, right? It doesn't quite work that way anymore.
Phil and I. You and I are in the same generation. I'm 45 next March, so this isn't happening today. Let me tell you. I mean, it's not. But in the 90s, yeah, no problem. It was not. There was no social media. There was no. It wasn't like I didn't own a cell phone. I didn't have a. It was a different day and age. So.
Jeremy, my high school baseball coach was also the high school football coach, and by the time baseball rolled around, he just wanted practice to be over as soon as it could be over with.
He didn't really care at the time.
He didn't really care very much. I'm not sure how much he really knew about baseball to begin with, to be honest. He was like, you know what? The guy that was the head coach here for 30 years just retired. Let's just move Whitgartner in there.
He was there because somebody that worked for the school had to be the head coach, right?
Yeah. He was the guy that would do underhanded teacher. He was the one that would do underhanded batting practice every once in a while. It was like, well, you really got another coach, or like somebody else could actually throw some BP instead of you doing the underhanded batting practice.
So you're telling me y'all didn't win state that year, Phil? That's what you're telling me?
We should have won city the last season, but darn it, lost in that first round in the championship.
Yeah, I didn't have the coordination for baseball, fellas. I was not, if you wanted me to go out there and occupy some space, and, no problem, but I didn't have the coordination for baseball.
I did see in the minor leagues.
I was struck out about 9 out of 10 times.
In minor league baseball, in professional baseball, when they're working their way up, like there is a way there, because nobody's paying attention to how much time the guys are on the field practicing and stuff like that. There's mandatory early work sometimes for players at home, but I've seen it. I know I brought it up on the show before. Like I saw a head coach, a manager, like. Oh my gosh! 2001 Phil would have just murdered 2021 Phil.
Come
for calling
on, you
him
don't
head coach.
Head coach.
We had a manager, Doug Sisson. Doug Sisson was the manager that did this, and he's been in college baseball for a long time, moving back and forth between the pros and college. And he disliked that 2002 Travelers team so much, and they were a really, really awful baseball team. I mean, they stunk. He took it out on him, man. He really did. I'm talking in August. 100 degrees, middle of the day, mandatory early work for these guys. And nobody was going to challenge him because the one guy that challenged him that year almost got into a fight with a pitcher on the bus. Bobby Jenks was the pitcher. Bobby Jenks eventually saved 4 World Series games for the White Sox. Jenks dared Sisson to send him to the minor leagues because he was such a top prospect. And you know what happened the next day? Bobby Jenks was sent to the minor leagues. So nobody was going to not report, or say he was sent lower. He was sent to single A. Nobody was going to not report to early work because they knew, they believed Sisson had the power to kind of end it with them. It was nuts. But he would have them out there for 3 hours. 3 hours working infield, working base running, extra batting practice. Shouldn't be a surprise that team stunk so badly in the month of August, man. They were completely exhausted.
Yeah, there was no complaining after that. We didn't have the oxygen or lungs.
That's
no air to live.
I appreciate the phone call, Jeremy.
Awesome, gentlemen. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it. Go Hogs. I'm not from here, but I've fallen in love with the place. So
how long have you lived in Arkansas now, Jeremy? I mean, how long does it take somebody that's from Alabama to fall in love with the Razorbacks?
4 years. Yeah. I joined the military out of high school, and I retired from the Army in 2017. And then after retirement, I told my wife not to retire from the Army. I said, hey, I drug you around in the military. You lived where the Army told me to move, right? They would assign me someplace, and you'd go live there. I said, where do you want to live? I don't care. I'm not from here. What? I couldn't believe when she picked Arkansas. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I mean, I was shocked. But we did it. I was like, okay, if you want to. At first, I'm really skeptical. I'm like, okay, I guess, like I've got family in Missouri. At least my parents are on Bull Shoals. They live right off of US 160 there in south central Missouri. But I mean, come on, Arkansas, but that's,
But Jeremy, I
I've
mean,
fallen over there.
that
sure.
shows me, Drew, this is one of the big things about marriage, man. It's just the absolute truth. There's a give and there's a take. And
Yeah.
sometimes we're not very good at realizing when we should do one or the other. Sounds like Jeremy's got this give and take thing down with his wife down pat. That's well done.
Oh yeah. 110%, 1,000%. It's easy. It's easy because the 1 + 1 does not equal 2. I tell you right now, it's more than that. So
did you give up? You're from Alabama. You're from Anniston, Alabama. Did you give up Alabama or Auburn to be a Razorback fan?
yes, yeah, well, absolutely. Well, and plus military. So I mean, let's face it. Do I root for the SEC regardless? Yes, but I live here, and so okay, so I had family, growing up that was in the Midwest, and so I'd visit them, and I root for a lot of different teams. I root for the Cubs because I have family in Central Illinois, right? I root for the Ravens because I was stationed in Maryland.
All right.
For
I think
5
you root for the
years.
Ravens
Got me
because
back
you
like
like
Drew.
Drew. That's the obvious answer there.
Yeah, and so I don't have any perfect allegiance to anyone, except that I live here, and so I definitely root for the Razorbacks 100% of the time.
You sound like a really
doesn't
nice
mean I don't
person.
root for Bama. It doesn't mean I don't root for them. I just don't root for them when they're facing the Hogs. I mean,
Okay.
sincerely, I mean that honestly. And not just because I'm talking to you fellas. If I was talking to a Bama show, out there in Tuscaloosa, I'd say the same thing. I live here. That's who I root for.
Hey, Jeremy, we're
Just
up
like
against
I did
we're
throughout
up
the
against the
military.
break here, so we'll have to let you go. But appreciate the phone call, man, and your stories, and thanks for your service, of course.
Yeah,
and
appreciate it, Jeremy.
for taking on the Razorbacks as your team now. It's good. It's maybe the longest phone call that's non-Eddie from Clarksville in the history of of halftime. It's well done, Jeremy. So hey, he sounds like somebody, Drew, that's just happy when people that he knows and likes are happy.
Exactly.
That's not me, man. Maybe I'm just rude and socially unacceptable, but I just don't root. I don't root for fans. I root against fans. I
You
think
root
Jeremy
against
is
your
like
own
my
people.
he's like he's diametrically opposite to the way that I view things here.
Jeremy just seems like one of those guys. He's just happy to be here, happy to be along for the ride type of person, and that's always great. A nice laid back, hey, just if you're happy, I'm happy type of guy.
Just happy to be here. Hope he can help the ball club.
Yeah.
God willing, everything will work out. And everything
Some days
does
it
work
rains,
out.
some days you win, some days you lose, and some days it rains. Think about it.
That's my sign off for rainouts because it's true.
It is
because it's true. Halftime homework is next, and guess what?
You
Drew
wasted
feels
my
he
life.
wasted some time. It's okay. That's halftime for you.
Loading the kids in the car. Brokering people.
Back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football. Head to your website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of these amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. You'll find 10 bedrooms with 19 beds for up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, poker table, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, a fire pit, 2 gas grills, outdoor basketball court, a heated indoor swimming pool nearby, and a 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City. Not to mention near some of the best golf courses. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO. We're back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot.
On ESPN 95.3. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Halftime today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
And into the second hour on a soggy, wet, disgusting, gross Thursday. You just want to peek your head outside for a quick moment, and it's back under the covers for the rest of the day. 877-377-6963 to get with us as we kick off our second hour of halftime with halftime homework.
Kind of homework assignment? I have a tough assignment. I'm thinking we should talk about the homework assignment.
Dude, did you do all your homework last night?
I'm not doing it. This is hard.
You really did your homework, didn't you?
It's time for halftime homework.
What do you boys have for me today?
First assignment for all of our listeners to make sure you're taking care of your own dental health. And you need to have Riley Farm Dental for exactly that. Because Riley Farm Dental not only provides all dental procedures, including braces, implants, and cosmetics, they also make sure that you are going to have a very comfortable experience anytime you are in their office and in the dental chair. That's Riley Farm Dental at the entrance of Riley Farms off Highway 71 in Fort Smith. Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan serving to give patients better lives and comfortable experiences. They've been voted top 3 best of the best 4 years running. You can call them at 226-3500. Get a look online, RileyFarmDental.com. You can visit at 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, Riley Farm Dental in Fort Smith. All right, Drew's got to be a little bit ticked off at me here because I gave him, on purpose here. This was intentional.
It was
assigning him 2 of the worst shows in the history of television. One of those shows was so bad it was great.
No, neither
but
of them were great.
I don't think that's the way he looks at it.
No, they were just terrible.
So the 2 shows that he was assigned, one from the 70s, the other from the 80s, putting on the hits. The show where basically it was just lip syncing and people jumping around on stage and dancing.
It was bad, but I don't think I've ever watched 20 to 30 minutes of anything stupider than the episode of The Gong Show that I watched. That might have been the stupidest thing I have ever watched in my life.
The Gong Show was and might still remain the stupidest half hour in the history of television on an episode by episode basis. But I don't know which one you watched. What were the acts that you were forced to view in Chuck Barris's House of Horrors, known as the Gong Show?
So there were 3 singing groups.
Could any of them sing?
Yeah, one of them was decent. I mean, I would. It's not like I'm going out and buying their next album or anything, but they were okay. One was terrible. There was a woman that played spoons, and nobody got gonged either. There were
no gongs?
I thought that was the whole point of the show, was to gong the bad acts.
Every
And
once in a while,
even
that
the
could
bad
happen, yeah.
acts, they gave like 7s, and one got a 10. And I was like, you're giving it to a lady who's playing spoons on her thighs, just flailing her arms around and got some weird tail, and I don't know if she's wearing pants. Like, this was in the 70s? I thought the whole point of television and people's problem with today's generation and today's media is that it's oh so violent, it's oh so crude and nasty nowadays. It's not the wholesomeness that we saw back in our day, back in time. That was some of the weirdest, nastiest stuff. And oh yeah, I looked up the Twins popsicle thing. That
Wholesome.
was
that would be wholesome.
How is that on
television.
TV?
Yeah, why not?
They're not eating popsicles. They're giving a tutorial on how to perform and act in the bedroom. Phil,
they were having a wonderful summertime.
That's
delight.
not what they were doing,
Phil.
That's not what they were doing. Everyone knows that's not exactly that's not what they were doing. They were giving a nice tutorial about things that adults do in the bedroom.
So you remember last week, I thought you made the apropos comparison that this was the original version of America's Got Talent.
No, America's Got Talent is 1 billion trillion times better than the Gong Show, because I've actually sat through and watched America's Got Talent. Even the stupid acts aren't that stupid. Like, this may have been, like, the best way that I can describe it is the principal's answer to Billy Madison that I would give you no points. We are all now dumber hearing that response, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I think anybody that ever turned on an episode of the Gong Show while it was airing knew that they were going to get stupider within the 22 minutes of the actual programming, and they would get smarter during the commercial breaks.
I mean,
because it kind of packaged itself as that kind of television.
How long was it on? Did you say like 2 seasons?
That was the thing. I think it's 3 seasons.
I'm shocked it made it. I'm
shocked. 3 years.
I am shocked that it made it more than 1 episode. I am absolutely shocked, because and what I watched was supposedly part of the greatest episode series. If that was the best that this show had to offer, whoever's idea of that show has a special place in the afterlife.
It's Chuck Barris, man. It's Chuck Barris.
Okay. Also, he's not funny. Like, does he think he's funny? Did he think he was funny back in that time? Like, his jokes about the groups and about the people coming up, or his jokes to like the judges. Did he think he was funny? Did anyone actually think that guy was funny?
I think he thought he was pretty entertaining.
I don't mean to be mad and like pissed off about this.
What was the name of that movie about him again?
But it was
Confessions of something.
I have no idea.
Right, you need to see the movie about Chuck Barris.
I will not be seeing the movie. I can 100%. If I never see,
it's not like an episode of the Gong Show. Don't.
He's
worry.
not funny though. I don't want to learn about the least funny man I've ever seen on a screen.
Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. That's the one. It's a George Clooney.
Weird
movie,
and
man.
insane mind is what it is. If that was his idea, he is medically insane.
Well, you'll watch a movie. You'll watch a movie that might have been written by Stephen King. Maybe that's the same idea. You had me watch You Again.
Yeah,
which I saw
you
on
had
Disney
2 movies.
I didn't watch the second. I did not watch like the little Bow Wow basketball.
You're 2
movie
weeks
yet.
behind. Come on.
I did watch You Again. Yesterday afternoon.
What'd you think?
I was fully prepared and ready to sit down and in my mind waste like an hour and a half of my life there. It's a pleasant movie.
I told you it was pleasant.
It's a pleasant movie. It's it isn't the funniest, but it's also not a movie that makes you feel like you're going to throw tomatoes and lettuce at the television screen and all of that. But it's the right kind of comedy for I don't know, like a 12 to 15-year-old girl.
Yeah,
I think so. So thanks for.
I mean, that's my age range of movies, obviously.
Kristen Bell is always funny. She
always
delivers wonderfully. She is good. Good to see Betty White in a movie where she's playing a grandma, and I guess now she would play the great-great-grandma. Kristen Chenoweth, interesting role that she's got, basically playing herself like she does in a lot of movies. Sigourney Weaver and Jamie Lee Curtis are fun to watch.
They were
together. Yep. Yeah, and any Jamie Lee Curtis movie. I mean, she's got such range where she can look so she is the scream queen still, but she still has that goofy kind of every girl delivery that makes her perfect to play somebody's mother on a Disney Plus and still be the woman that was, in Trading Places and True Lies and all of that. So it wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. It was pleasant enough.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think I oversold the movie when I gave you this assignment, right? I don't think I said, this is the best rom-com you will ever see. I said, no, it's a good movie, lighthearted, and it's got a great cast. And I think, would you not agree with all three of those statements?
I would say yes, but I got the kids with me this weekend. I should have waited to show them.
Well,
that movie.
You can show them Like Mike this week.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll see if.
But you're going to have a different assignment this week too, because you are still 2 weeks behind.
Well, I'm going to be playing for the kids this weekend, though, a song that I think is in the pantheon, and this is not a Halloween song, but it should be. And this is, I think your assignment will give you a real window into the two people that you do this show with, myself and Matthew Travis, who are two gigantic Weird Al Yankovic fans. Nobody ever thinks, nobody ever remembers Weird Al did make a great, scary song.
Ooh.
So I'm not exactly sure if this was supposed to sound like another album, but it definitely played off of the fears that parents had from the late 70s and the early 80s, that listening to heavy metal rock and roll was going to turn you into the devil, or at least send you in that direction. This, my friend, is Nature Trail to Hell, which is Weird Al's last song on the album that you are now assigned, which is Weird Al Yankovic in 3D. This is the album that blew him up and turned him into the star that he still is all these years later. So he's basically making up a movie with this.
Okay.
Great premise. This pretty much describes like all the Friday the 13th movies. So, this is the last song on the album. The rest of the songs, I mean, these hits, Drew. Eat It.
Yes, I know
Lost on Jeopardy, King of Suede, and The Rye the Kaiser, which is just like the Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah, you told me about. I've heard of Eat It, and you told me about the Rye of the Kaiser.
Ever wanted to know why the two people you do this show with are complete, utter geeks? There you go. You're going to learn about it. It's in 3D by Weird Al Yankovic, 44 minutes of your life that not only will you not get back, you won't want them back, because I think you're going to love it.
I mean, I do like some Weird Al. I've heard some of Mr. Yankovic's wonderful music before. So I do know what Weird Al is all about. Now, would I ever say that I'm leader of his fan club like you and Maddie are? No. But I enjoy it. As far as like comedian people that make parodies of songs, he's definitely the best. A lot of people that do parodies, I think it's a waste of time and they're not funny. But Weird Al does a great job of it.
All right. So, well, I think you're going to love this album. What do you have for me?
All right, we're going back to the 901 this week, and we're going to assign you a band that I believe I haven't assigned you this band yet. And if I have, I'm sorry. But we're going back to a band that I saw from the time that they really started getting going, playing at Newbies and other places around the University of Memphis. The band Camino is a up-and-coming rock band, I guess, rock popish band from Memphis, Tennessee. I've met a few of them, saw them, they obviously were from the Memphis area and stuff. We know a lot of the same people, but really good music. We've actually had two of the songs on this album, the Try Hard album, have been rejoins, Daphne Blue and See Through.
Okay.
So I think you'll like it. It's only like a 30-minute album. So
I'm going to listen to Camino. For
the band Camino.
Yeah, the band Camino, and maybe watch Like Mike by Lil Bow Wow, so that I can catch up on my halftime homework. And I know you gotta get all these missing assignments in before Thanksgiving break, because then it's finals week pretty soon after that, and I got to make sure I move into the next grade. All right, we got to step aside. When we come back, taking a look at, hey, it's Thursday. You got football on television, so we should all be very, very happy about football on TV for this upcoming. And you got a really good one tonight, too. Like, this should be the matchup that Monday Night Football would have had back in the day when Monday Night Football had the good games, and Thursday Night Football kind of got the garbage games. But this is not a garbage one tonight. 877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime. Bob Holt comes up, bottom of the hour, and we will be right back.
I think you can be awfully proud of the way your fans are with you. I've never seen stands so full of life. The whole state was behind you. There was a spirit there about it, Coach, and that means that your team has done something that's really great for this state.
Thank you, sir. We're very proud of our fans. They've had a big part in the success that we've had.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Traylon down the sideline. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Are you looking to sell your vehicle or trade up? Now's the time at Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. Troy, you got the checkbook open. You're ready for trades today.
Yes, we definitely are. We just want to buy your vehicle. This is not a sales advertising here. This is me telling you we want to purchase your vehicle at Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford. Your vehicle right now is worth more than it's ever been worth before, and we want to buy it. So if you're driving a 2013 or newer with less than 120,000 miles, get down here now. Give us 5 to 10 minutes of your time, and I promise you will be surprised. You might be leaving with a fat check in your pocket.
Plus, you got plenty of selection. If someone's ready to trade up, you've got plenty to choose from.
Yes, definitely. I mean, we are the home of more for your trade. So we want to give you more for your vehicle, and we want to give you an awesome deal on one of ours.
All right, come see Troy and the entire crew. Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford. Easy to find, easy to get to from wherever you're listing. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw.
The natural state jackpot from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is now more than $350,000. So, what would you do if you won?
So if I won a jackpot, I would use it to help my business. I would buy several greenhouses, sell people flowers, make people happy.
I would spoil my kids.
Got your ticket? If not, visit your local lottery retailer for your chance to win the natural state jackpot of more than $350,000. This is winning. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
At Frank Rowe Furniture for the month of October, no sales tax and free delivery. You heard it right, no sales tax and free delivery. Frank Rowe Furniture offers made-in-the-USA products and service after the sale. Remember, no sales tax and free delivery in October at Frank Rowe Furniture. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house. Appliance excluded in sale and delivery must be within a 50-mile range.
Farm Credit has been a trusted friend for over 100 years. They are ag financing experts, so whether you're a longtime farmer, new to farming, or buying your dream home or land in the country, their experienced staff has a plan to fit your goals, needs, and your bottom line. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal opportunity lender.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you're a fence builder or have building experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay, health, dental, and vision benefits, plus a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Start every Saturday with Arkansas Game Day 5 hours before kickoff. Presented by Randall Ford and Bud Light. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
I plan on getting into this Thursday night football matchup a little bit because Packers-Cardinals, I mean, this has got to be one of the best Thursday night games ever since they've come up with this idea. 6-1 team against a 7-0 team. And
yeah, normally they suck.
Yeah, it should be. You look at the Monday night game, which is the Giants at the Chiefs, two teams not playing really well. Maybe you could switch these two and get the better
it might be a little
game
late
on Monday. Yeah, maybe a little bit. But I was going to get into that instead. Just saw on the Twitter machine that Gary Blair has announced that this will be his last season coaching women's college basketball. And so it feels like that's the direction to go here instead, because Coach Blair, I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a legend. He's a national champion. He's a former Razorback. He took Arkansas women's basketball to their lone Final Four, and you know he's he mentored Mike Neighbors, and is one of the reasons that Mike is I think is as good of a coach as he is, and he's got a coaching tree of his own, meaning Coach Blair, and that really hits. I mean, you really can't be surprised. I don't remember exactly what Coach Blair's age is, but I know he's.
I just looked it up. He's 76.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not to me. That never felt like he's slowing down. I mean, this guy can work a room like nobody's business. Like he's the guy when you come in, when A&M comes into Bud Walton Arena, he still is going around the floor during warm-ups, shaking hands with everybody. And in the media room where everybody's getting food and drinks and stuff, he's the only head coach I remember that's gone into the media area to go say hi to people that he's gotten to know. I mean, he lived in Fayetteville for so long, and he's so well respected everywhere, especially here in Fayetteville. And one thing that bums me out here knowing this is that Arkansas plays Texas A&M one time this year for women's basketball, and it's in College Station. It's not in Fayetteville. And I'd like to see the send-off that Razorback fans would give him, because, I mean, he really is still revered by this fan base, and that would be something to be a lot of fun to watch. But, 838 career wins, a national championship. They are SEC tournament champions and have won that a couple of times. So great career, and they're still going to be really good again, just like A&M always is.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously one of the legends of the sport, of helping develop it and grow it. I mean, from not only, I wouldn't say that I'm an expert on Gary Blair. I obviously know the name. I know a little bit about him, but from everything that I've heard and read and seen, he seems to be, maybe on that level of well respected as your Coach Geno's, your Pat Summits were, and now obviously I think Mike Neighbors would kind of be on that level now as well as he's getting the program going here at Arkansas. So gonna miss him, but did a lot for the advancements of not just women's basketball but basketball in general.
People still look at him not getting a contract at Arkansas and deciding to go to A&M, as that was a moment where Arkansas women's basketball really started to go downhill for a few years there, and goes right to A&M, builds them into what they still are right now. It's interesting when you see the effect that somebody has on somebody else. It gives you a real understanding of of the kind of impact and where that person is held in a lot of people's minds. I do the women's basketball games with Erin Portman. She's her maiden name is Erin Gatling, and she played point guard for Arkansas for 2 years. Grew up, she's from Van Buren, grew up going to Razorback women's basketball games. And the first time that she did a game against Texas A&M sitting next to me, when Gary Blair walked in, she was agog. It's completely agog.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's not insulting to Erin whatsoever. I mean, there's a lot. I think there are a lot of women around her age that grew up loving Arkansas women's basketball and viewing Gary Blair the exact same way that she does. So that just really bums me out that he's not going to be coming back to Fayetteville for at least one game, and that the last time that we'll see Mike Neighbors coach against Gary Blair will be on the road or be in the SEC tournament.
Well, at least it's one more time for our, at least for Mike and his team to send him off. You like you said, you'd like to have the I guess somewhat of a ceremony type feel in Fayetteville for him, but you can always just bring him back next year.
I'm sure, that's a good point.
I mean, just have him come to a game and do something for him.
Go see the grandkids. Go see your friend if he loves Fayetteville that much, man. I mean, it's funny too because Coach Neighbors has the last practice I went to. He had 3 guys that were high school coaches in the state that he's either worked with or have known for a long time. Like he likes them to be able to come back and watch practice and get a look at the team because they'll come out to games. I could imagine Coach Blair doing the same thing, like coming, sitting there watching practice.
I'm sure he will.
Maybe telling Mike what he thinks about all that. But 838 career wins, 333 losses. And as I go down here through the list, is he one losing season? One losing season in 36 years as a Division I head women's basketball coach, and that was his first year at Texas A&M when he was rebuilding them. Legend. All right, we're going to step aside for a break, and we've got Bob Holt from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette coming up next on Halftime. Don't forget that you can still show us your crack. Mr. Autoglass in Fort Smith wants to see your crack, and you can win a new windshield of up to $250. It's the Show Us Your Crack promotion brought to you by Mr. Autoglass, 3017 Towson Avenue, servicing all glass repairs and replacement. Go to hitthatline.com, send a picture of your windshield through October 31st. The winners announced on the Morning Rush next Monday.
Halftime is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center. 4 generations making your family dreams come true.
When it comes to baling, the denser, the better. Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas can show you how roll belt round balers produce denser and higher quality round bales that drive down your production costs while driving up the nutrition of your bales. A competitive comparison showed New Holland roll belt round balers provide savings in net wrap, transportation, and lower storage losses. It's like being able to afford a new baler every other year. Stop by Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas soon to learn firsthand about the benefits of roll belt round balers.
Are you looking to renovate your spice cabinet? Well, Rub It Snout All Grub Rubs will do just that. This is the one seasoning that is fantastic on all food. Rub It Snout is literally the only seasoning you'll need. Our family of All Grub Rubs will take any food to the maximum level of flavor. Rub It Snout All Grub Rubs are excellent for cooking, smoking, grilling, frying, and baking. But don't take our word for it. Get yours now. Spread the rub. Go to rubitsnout.com to place your order.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
You've had the hand-breaded chicken sandwich at Hardee's, but have you tried it with crispy bacon, melty Swiss, and their new hot honey sauce? It's the ultimate flavor of sweet and heat. Get it while you can because this honey has some bite. Taste the sweet heat for yourself with the new hot honey hand-breaded chicken sandwich at Hardee's. Go get it now.
Feed your happy. Available for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price and participation may vary. When you've escaped the screens and the sun bathes everything in a golden glow, and your friend hands you a cold organic beer that tastes as perfect as nature itself. That's pure gold. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the first national USDA certified organic beer. Organic by nature. Enjoy responsibly. 2020 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, St. Louis, Missouri.
Looking for a fence company that will provide the personal touch to your fence or gating project? Call Dusty's Fence Company at 479-629-4190. Dusty's Fence Company specializes in custom wood design, vinyl fencing, chain link and ornamental iron projects, and they can even stain your fence to complete your project. Family owned and in business for 20 years, you will deal with the same person from start to finish. That's Dusty's Fence Company, 479-629-4190.
So this one time at B-Dubs, a couple of friends came in for football, and they asked for the best seats in the house, which is kind of a trick question. Since we've got wall-to-wall TVs, you can watch the game in any direction. Kind of makes every seat in the house the best seat in the house. So when I explained all that, they just sat at the bar, because you got to be close to the beer on game days. Come into Buffalo Wild Wings for the absolute best game day experience the NFL can offer. Buffalo Wild Wings, to the greatest of all times.
Touchdown! Unbelievable!
Please drink responsibly.
Let Carco Car Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley in eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating people right. The friendly and knowledgeable staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced right to fit your budget, so you can leave with a peace of mind knowing that you are getting a quality, well-maintained vehicle. Come see the team at Carco Auto Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, at 2810 Midland Boulevard today. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
This is ESPN 95.3. Need a little bit more halftime in your life? Make sure to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith has the best deals in the River Valley on liquor, beer, and wine. Stop by 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and make sure to check out their Facebook page for weekly specials. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is part of the Hit That Line Podcast Network and is available wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right, we got Bob Holt with us from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, sports writer extraordinaire. Always appreciate some of his time. Bob, how are you doing on this rainy Thursday?
I'm fine. Hope you guys are well.
Yeah, doing okay, man. I wanted to ask
Doing
you
well.
about Joe Lee Dunn, former Arkansas defensive coordinator, longtime defensive coordinator in the SEC, also at Mississippi and Mississippi State. South Carolina before they joined the SEC.
And
was there East-West Memphis thrown in there as well? It's not an SEC school,
Well,
so
I'm just
I didn't
saying.
go in that direction. Passed away earlier this week at the age of 75. I'd heard his name before. He only spent 1 year as the Arkansas defensive coordinator and then headed on to Mississippi State, right?
Yeah, but it's funny. I did a story on Joe Lee when he was at Mississippi State before they played Arkansas. I think Mississippi State had the number one defense. This was 1999. He was a Burroughs Award finalist that year. But Joe Lee said he had no issues with Arkansas. People treat him well. He enjoyed living there. But he had a young family. He had, for a guy who I think it was 53 or something, he had 3 kids, I think ages like between 8 and 2 or something.
Wow.
And so both he and his wife's parents lived in Columbus, Georgia, not Columbus, Mississippi, which is, just right by Starkville, but Columbus, Georgia, which I remember this stuff because I just looked it up. It was about a 4-hour drive from Starkville, quite a bit farther drive from Fayetteville. And so, Jackie Sherrill hired him. I'm sure he gave him a nice raise. And so Joe Lee, I think there was a move. Obviously, he wouldn't have left Arkansas to go to a, lower team, but basically it was a lateral move. Arkansas to Mississippi State. I mean, some people would say Arkansas is better. Some people would say Mississippi State. I guess you can, in different years, it depends. But for him, it was really more of a personal family move. And he also, I'm sure Tony, Danny Ford didn't make a huge effort to keep him. I don't think he offered him a raise or anything like that. I assume Joey probably got a raise to go to Mississippi State. But I mean, I don't think he and Danny got crossing. He said he and Danny just very seldom talk. Joe Lee had the run of the defense. And Danny was kind of a CEO guy, But Jolie was a fun guy. It was interesting. He used to go into the office at 3:30 a.m. And get a bunch of his work done. The kind of work probably got other coaches were doing maybe from 6 to 10 a.m. or something. But when practice was over, Jolie headed home. I mean, he wanted to be with his wife and kids, a family and football. But he was a very innovative guy, coming up with different schemes and blitz packages, and he did a good job for a long time in a lot of different places.
I saw where he was the or a pioneer of the 3-3-5 defensive alignment, which has become one of the more popular alignments in college football. So, I mean, this is somebody that I guess thought a little bit out of the box compared to defensive coordinators of his time.
Yeah, he blitzed a lot, but he probably didn't blitz as much as people might have thought. I remember talking to him about it, and he said really it's sort of the threat of the blitz. You might cause people to not run some packages they normally would, and so you kind of take them out of their comfort zone. Another thing about Joey, he was never in the press box, to my knowledge. He was always on the field. I don't think he ever wore a headset. He basically signaled his stuff in. He just kind of had what he wanted to do, and the guys knew the defense, and they were good at that. But yeah, Jolie was different in a lot of different ways, and he was always on the field, which some coordinators are down the field, but my guess is the majority of defense coordinators in the box. Could be wrong about that. That's not a scientific study or anything, but like I say, he was never in a headset either. He wasn't getting feedback. It was kind of like, hey, this is my defense. I'm gonna get a feel for it down here, and I'm gonna call what I see and what I like.
Yeah, that's one thing I remember as a kid when he was, at Memphis. I think from 2003 to 2005 with Tommy West was that he didn't wear a headset like everybody else. So that was one of the unique things about Jolie Dunn there. But as far as the coordinators that Arkansas has right now, with the coaching rumors, the firings that have been going on, and obviously Kendall Briles and Barry Odom's names keep getting brought up in a lot of these rumors that almost feel like we're just going to throw a bunch of stuff to the walls. If it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, we never said that in the first place type of stuff that we deal with every year. Do you think there's an opening right now that would really entice either Briles or Odom to go to, or do you think that perfect job for them is just not there yet?
Well, I mean, it's really all about what job you can get. I mean, I'm sure either of them would take the LSU or the USC job, but no offense, they're not going to get off of that job. Kendall Briles, I've seen his name come up with Texas Tech, which would make some sense because, he's a Texan. I've seen people talk about, maybe him and his dad who were at Baylor together getting reunited in Lubbock. I don't know if that's realistic or not. I think those guys are both going to get opportunities to be head coaches. It's really, again, in Barry's case, be a head coach again. It's really just about, what's out there. And, of course, this coaching carousel is going to create openings. Maybe some of these openings will be filled by coordinators, but, some sitting head coach is going to take the LSU job, I believe, and one's going to take the USC job, and then those jobs are going to be filled by sitting coaches, and then there's kind of a trickle-down effect of the I guess they call it the carousel. So, yeah, I think there'll definitely be some head coaching opportunities for Kendall and Barry this year. It really just depends on sometimes the job you want you can't get, and sometimes the job you get offered you don't want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I remember talking to Houston Nutt about that. He got fired at Ole Miss. I fully expected Houston to coach again. I mean, obviously things didn't end well at Ole Miss, but if you look at the body of his work, 2 SEC schools, he went to 4 or 5 Cotton Bowls, and he did well at Murray State, and the 1 year Boise State did pretty well, and so I fully expected Houston to get another job. And I talked to him about it a few years later when it's pretty clear he wasn't going to coach again. And he didn't name names, but he mentioned there were some jobs he got offered, and he thought, I can do better than that. And then the jobs he wanted that he went for, he didn't get. So it really depends on if you want to be a head coach again. Some guys are more comfortable being coordinators. Barry Odom and Kendall Briles are making pretty good money, and some of the head coaching jobs, frankly, they get offered. They might have to take a pay cut to go there, but do they want to be a head coach again?
Mm-hmm.
When do they want to run their own program? Does it fit maybe geographically where, they want to live? And do they feel like you can win there and that can lead to a bigger job? So there's a lot of different things you have to consider, obviously.
Yeah, and obviously this is the bye week, so still got, Thursday, 9 days until Arkansas plays again. But kind of just looking ahead at Mississippi State and that matchup, how do you feel about it, right now, as far as matching up against an air raid offense, this defense who has been a little bit banged up, obviously, with the loss of Catalan. But how do you feel like Barry Odom's defense matches up against the air raid of Mike Leach and Mississippi State?
Well, of course, Arkansas won down in Starkville last year to break that, I guess it was 20-game SEC losing streak, and State was just coming off a big win at LSU. And Arkansas, a lot of the same defense scheme that helped them beat Ole Miss a week or two later, dropping 8, not rushing as many guys, and gosh, I can't remember the guys. LSU had a transfer quarterback from Stanford, I think it was, who just lit up LSU, and he struggled against Arkansas. And by the middle of the year, he was out, and now they've got, I guess it could be a redshirt freshman or a sophomore, and he's lighting it up. Gosh, it's
Will Rogers.
His name. Yeah, Will Rogers. I was trying to think of the old-time Cowboy comedian who I know most listeners probably think, what other Will Rogers are you talking about? But yeah, Will Rogers, kind of a Cowboy name, and he's completed over 40 passes in multiple games. I think he set the SEC record against somebody. But a lot of those are short passes. But they have for Mississippi State, it's kind of the pass game's kind of their run game. And they're an extension of their running game. And so, they're going to have to contend with a really hot quarterback and some very good receivers. And, just like Ole Miss, what worked last year probably won't work this year. So it's going to be a big challenge it's a big challenge for anybody's secondary. It'll be a big challenge for Kentucky. It'll be interesting to see how Mississippi State does against Kentucky this weekend. It has a very good defense. But, I think that would be a big challenge especially not having Jalen Catalan, who's arguably your best, not just your best defensive back, he's your best defensive player, period. Mm-hmm. With Trey Burks just up there as your best players, on either side of the ball. And so it's going to be a big challenge for Arkansas, I think. But the good thing is they've got an extra week to scheme them up, extra week to heal up, and Mississippi State's going to be coming in off a tough game. Win or lose, playing Kentucky is going to be tough on Mississippi State.
We got basketball in a couple of days at Bud Walton Arena. See, even you've messed me up the way I've been saying this now, Drew. Exhibition game on 4 against North Texas. What is it that you're looking for in this game? A couple things Muss pointed out too. He's looking for Chris Lykes to grow into the role of point guard. I think that'll happen. I don't think Chris Lykes has been around as long as he's been in college basketball without being able to work his way into a new system like he is here with Muss. The one thing that he did say that I wonder about is Arkansas team defense. They were a really good defensive team last year. Muss pointed out, you don't have those quote-unquote lockdown defenders that we had last year. He pointed to Justin Smith and Jalen Tate, both who came in, especially Tate, with reputations as being great defenders, and that played itself out as you watch the game, them go throughout the rest of the season last year. And he says, we don't really have that right now. So, we talk sometimes about you need a team to be able to gel, and sometimes too much of that focus is on gelling offensively. I'm hearing from Muss that first of all, they got to get in better shape. That plays its way into defense too. And it sounds like they got to gel defensively, maybe even more so than offensively.
Yeah, I think any good coach is going to put a premium on defense. Eddie Sutton always made the point that, defense is a constant. You can have good shooting nights, bad shooting nights. You can get hot, but defense is something that should always, be good. Nolan Richardson obviously built his program. As high scoring as his teams were, they were based on defense and forcing turnovers and, going down and getting dunks and layups and stuff, but basically offense off your defense. And Eric believes in that too. And Jalen Tate and Justin Smith were really, they were older guys. They were tough guys. Eric has said that they basically they took as much, if not more, pride in their defense than their offense. Obviously, most guys, naturally, guys or male or female, I think we all, whether we played grade school or played in the NBA, scoring. It's about scoring. That's the fun thing. But defense is really what can win you championships and win you a lot of games. So I think Arkansas just needs a better defensive effort overall. If you watch that exhibition game, defense is kind of tight there. Turning up the screws on defense is what helped them, get back in that thing and ultimately win it. And, he talked about he didn't really like the pick and roll defense from his big guys, Jalen Williams and Connor Banner, so they didn't move like they should. And I think, just seeing, are they overall playing better defense, more intensity, from the get-go? I talked about, the point guard spot. Also, I remember Chris Lykes, I think, only played 2 or 3 games last year for Miami. He hurt his ankle. So, he's kind of getting back in the groove, knocking off some rust, as well as getting adjusted to a new team, new place, new teammates, all that. But it'll be interesting to see how they handle that point guard spot, and then is their defense better.
Bob, appreciate you, man. We'll leave it there. I know you got your Packers on TV tonight, so enjoy that, and we'll look forward to talking again with you next week. Thanks as always.
Okay, I think the Cardinals have been living a lie. Hopefully they'll be exposed.
Thanks, Bob.
There's a man who sounds a little realistic about his team today. Halftime's brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma, the dealership that served you for over 70 years in Northwest Arkansas and in the River Valley on a 17-acre, 26,000-square-foot showroom floor right there at the junction of I-40 and I-49 beside the Cracker Barrel. That's Crabtree RV Center. It'll give every family the best experience choosing the right RV for your adventures. If you got a breakdown, the service parts department takes care of you, everything you need at Crabtree RV. Making families' dreams come true for over 70 years and 4 generations. The entire inventory is at CrabtreeRV.com. We're going to wrap halftime up after the break, see what you're getting into on a Thursday night. So stay with us.
In the mood for a top shelf night? 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge has your number. Sit back, relax, and enjoy select wines, top shelf spirits, and handcrafted cocktails in a rich, comfortable, sanitized setting with state-of-the-art air filtration. Indulge in one of our delicious appetizers, sandwiches, salads, or specialty items for carry-out or dine-in. Open Tuesday through Saturday. Stop by 906 Garrison Avenue in Fort Smith. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith.
Have you been looking for your next place to call home and just haven't found the right one? Then it's time to check out the properties at Trinity Multifamily. With a variety of apartments, duplexes, townhomes, and houses, there is surely one to fit your needs. Whether it's in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, or Central Arkansas that you are looking at, they have you covered. Give them a call today. Trinity Multifamily, 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith has COVID vaccinations available today for you and your family. Law's Drugstore has the Pfizer vaccine for ages 12 and up. The vaccine is safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Just call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drugstore at 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family. Call them now, 452-6116.
Make Awake Bait and Tackle on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma has everything a fisherman needs. Rods, reels, tackle, plastics, all kinds of great baits to catch a wall hanger. Rods starting at $69.95. The biggest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reaction Innovation, Bobby Garland, Lake Fork Hugin, and more. And Make Awake has Daiwa rods and reels, and they repair them too. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Reduce your home energy bills while increasing your comfort. AOG and OG&E are offering a weatherization program that provides free home energy efficiency upgrades to current customers in Arkansas. If your home is at least 10 years old, it may qualify for these upgrades, which include attic insulation, caulking, air sealing, weather stripping, and LED lighting. To find out how you can benefit from these free home weatherization improvements, contact 844-413-3065 or visit AOGC.com.
Did you know that Russell Exterior builds metal buildings too? We'll let them make your next shop, man cave, shed, or whatever it is that you've been wanting. They can also build your next deck or back porch. Whatever the project, call Russell Exterior today at 479-551-2093. They are a locally owned company that is fully licensed, bonded, and insured, so don't wait for your next project. Call Russell Exterior and make all your dreams come true. Russell Exterior, 479-551-2093, or check them out online at russellexterior.com.
Whole Hog Cafe on Phoenix Avenue is now open 11 till 8 Monday through Saturday. Whole Hog Cafe has party packs for your watch party, tailgate party, business meetings, or lunch and dinner for the family. You will see a few new items on the menu to go along with the award-winning barbecue and sides. Whole Hog Cafe, Phoenix Avenue, offers online ordering at wholehogfortsmith.com, along with curbside and delivery service. Or come see us 11 till 8 Monday through Saturday. Follow Whole Hog Cafe on Facebook and Instagram for specials.
Did you know about 1 in 9 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during his lifetime? Unfortunately, all treatment options can have side effects, like erectile dysfunction, urinary leakage, and bowel complications. However, SpaceOAR Hydrogel can help minimize your risk of side effects when used with radiation therapy. To learn more about the risks and benefits of SpaceOAR, visit spaceoar.com. That's spaceoar.com. Spaceoar.com. Sponsored by Boston Scientific.
This is ESPN 95.3. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Happy weekend, guys. Weekend starts tonight, right? Thursday, even if you're not a college student. Let's just be honest here.
It still starts.
Making plans for the weekend. Make sure they involve 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Great place to start your night. Great place to end your evening. Even everything else in between. They're at 906 Garrison Avenue in Fort Smith. Upscale Social Lounge offers the finest spirits, wine, and cigars anywhere in the state of Arkansas. Plus, air replacement system. They replace the air every 4 minutes inside the lounge. You are not going to smell like a cigar at 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Open until midnight tonight, 1 a.m. Friday and Saturday. 906 Garrison Avenue, Fort Smith, 906lounge.com. Can also check out their Facebook page for their events and menu.
Phil,
Yes.
whatever you had planned to talk about, I'm going to bulldoze it right here.
What do you got?
I just saw this on Twitter from the official Twitter account for PETA.
Oh, boy.
Bullpen refers to the area of a bull's pen where bulls are held before they are slaughtered. It's a word with speciesist roots, and we can do better than that. Switch to arm barn would be a home run for baseball fans, players, and animals. We can't hurt those poor bulls' feelings. We have blatantly been speciesist. I think that's how you're supposed to say it. It's like racist, but instead of race, it's a species. So specious roots.
Well, that's
we've been specious to those poor bulls for almost 200 years, Phil, and it needs to stop. Arm barn it is, PETA. You are right. We have been too insensitive to that cow's personal feelings, and I'm sorry.
An arm barn.
I mean, come on. What the heck? I mean, like, what the hell is speciesist? Being mean to animals? I mean, last time I checked, I'm on top of the food chain for a reason.
I can't quite wrap my mind
I don't care
around
about the bull's feelings.
The idea of even just using the term bullpen being insulting to any kind of a species. Like, you throw human kids into a playpen, right?
Uh-huh.
Human babies and kids get a playpen to play inside.
That's true.
Essentially, the pen is just a series of fences that are constructed in order to keep said animal or said child, which is an animal too.
But this is before the bull goes to be slaughtered. The pre-slaughtered bull sits in the bullpen, and he has to think about how he's being slaughtered, not how he's going to get the third out of the seventh inning when he comes into relief.
And the term bullpen has been around for, I don't know how long it's been around. It feels to me like it's been since the beginning of the game, I think. Because you've got your bulls are your relief pitchers. Though, truthfully, like the game of baseball now is so different than when the term bullpen was first created. That what they should have done, because back then relief pitchers were the crappy pitchers. They were the ones who couldn't be starting pitchers. So that, to refer to them as bulls might not be, quite so accurate. You can call it the one-legged pen, the crappy pen, because it's different now. Now, you got guys that are trained to throw as hard as they possibly can for 3 batters or maybe an inning, and that's their career, right? 2 innings at most.
And they make a heck of a lot of money and a long career out of it, being a specialist, being a setup guy, being a lefty specialist, being that closer.
Well, now I'm a person that's all about changing the terminology for a sport if it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Fair pull. I've got my reasons for that and the fair line. And there's no reason to argue about it now, but I don't see any reason for changing the term bullpen.
I don't either, but like is this what's on top of the the board for PETA to deal with right now? Is that it's the World Series, and we have to make sure that all those nasty, specious baseball fans out there know that they are committing harm to another species when they call it a bullpen. Like, is that really the number one thing that needs to be brought to all of our attention? And I need to look inside. I need to look inside myself and realize if I've got hate in my heart towards those Bulls, do I love the Bulls or do I hate the Bulls?
Had the idea to do that now because it's great marketing since it's World Series
You're
time.
right.
It's World Series time, so this is the perfect time for it. You just wait until they make some mention of the baseball being created out of horsehide, right? That's the next one. Wait for the football season and Super Bowl so that we can be pointed out that the football's made of pigskin.
Is it still actually made of like actual pigskin?
I really don't even know. But
I don't think
what
it
it's
is
referred to as. By the way, it's PETA, not PETA, like the bread for those who are texting into us right now. And Evan in Fayetteville gives us a little information here, at least what he thinks. Not like I would have any clue about this, being the city person that I am. Evan says he heard that the bullpen is referred to as the place where bulls hang out in the off-season when they're not breeding cows. So not a pre-slaughter area. It's just a place to hang out, which is what the pitchers are doing before they're summoned.
Yeah. I mean, that makes a heck of a lot more sense than what PETA's trying to sell us, in that by calling it a bullpen, it's being specious to where bulls hang out are held before they're slaughtered.
Next thing we're going to hear that they shouldn't call the dugout a dugout because it refers to, illegal strip mining or something.
I mean, it could be. I don't know.
Yeah, Fisher makes a good point here. Stop calling cowards chicken. It's very rude to the chickens.
Yeah, those chickens might be some of the bravest animals that have ever walked this earth. And to throw their bravery back in their face by saying that they're cowards is specious.
Like if you're gonna say don't call it a bullpen, you gotta come up with something better than arm barn for crying out loud. That sounds like something that the batters wear, an arm bar.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. People eating tasty animals.
That's my type of PETA.
I know, that's your kind of PETA.
I was gonna have chicken tonight, but I think I'm gonna have beef tonight just because PETA made me.
Make sure you
So
send
good
him a
job,
picture.
PETA.
Make sure you send him a picture on Twitter, just like everybody else. All right, fun stuff today, guys. Have a great rest of your day. For Maddie and Drew, I'm Phil. See you tomorrow. Now, get up, get out, and get better.